So this is Unit 1, and this is the first page of Unit 1. And as part of providing an acculturated attitude to the students, we try to, the movie takes them to China, and this is a shot of the movie that shows the setting in which the language learning takes place. The beginning and ending of every lesson you'll see is can-do statements which have to do with tasks, so which have to do with skills. So survival skills for the 21st century, these are skills. I've often been asked, how many characters does Encounters introduce in every unit, or how many vocabulary items do you introduce in every unit? That's hard to say, because how many characters and which vocabulary items is content, and our focus is on skills. So the skill number 1 is greet someone, introduce yourself, say goodbye, understand formal, informal speech, say where you come from, ask for and give telephone numbers, etc., etc. So on the first page of every unit, you'll have these can-do statements. In the U.S., language assessment is very often based on these can-do statements. Like Linguafolio, if you're used to it, is a long list of can-do statements. So those are the can-do statements, and then through a series of encounters, we're going to try to familiarize our students with the language content and allow them to gain these skills. Generally, every encounter in the textbook is going to have at least one clip from either the movie, the episodes, or the documentary section. This exercise right here, 1.3, it said watch and listen to the video first, and then check the greetings you hear. So what I generally would do is play the clip more than once, and then the students check everything that they see in this column here. 你好, 好吗, 您好, 小王, 怎么样, 好, 好, 很好. So actually, 1.3 key, everything that you see here, 你好, 好吗, 您好, 怎么样, 你很好, 好, 好, and 很好. All of those were in the video. All they have to do is check that, okay? So that's a task. Check what you hear. And we don't expect them to memorize everything they hear. That's not possible. And there's stuff in the video that is not relevant really to the task. So they just focus in on the relevant part. Okay, so they just check that. That's one way of introducing them to the pinyin as well. And then the next exercise, 1.4, watch and listen to it again, and then match formal with informal, match the Chinese with the English. You may be thinking, well, if we don't tell them what it is, how can they do it? But really, the students absolutely can do it. They can guess from context and from their language instincts what the answers are. So next, in the 5 optimal criteria for language learning, we said that it's good for them to notice and to pay attention to certain things. That's why every once in a while we have these FYIs, or grammar notes, that call their attention to certain things. Like this one, FYI, greetings in Chinese. It's just a little more information, and they can read that. Generally, I ask them to read it at home. But 1.5 is very important. Every few minutes, at least several times in the class, the textbook will suggest that the students turn to a classmate, greet him or her in Chinese. So they just turn around and say, "Hi, ni hao," and then repeat the exchange with a different classmate. Or they can get up and walk around the room and say, "Hey, ni hao, ni hao, Xiao Wang ni hao, Tom ni hao," to everybody in the class. But then please note, the suggestion is, if you are interacting with your teacher, remember to use a polite form and a respectful title, like 李老师您好. So this is basically what we used to do. We drill. Every time we have new information, we give them a chance to use it. But here we're using it in context. 你好 is said when you meet somebody for the first time and you want to greet them. And so they're meeting their classmates for the first time, and they walk around and say, 你好. And if the students are wearing name tags, you can have them say, Tommy 你好, Betty 你好, Wang Xiaojian 你好, whatever. And the thing about 李老师您好, that's culture in context. We've taught greetings, and the next thing was to introduce yourself. Every step of the way, they're little tasks. And here, 你好,我叫林. All they have to do is write in English. My name is Lin. 李文,你好,我叫李文. Hello, my name is Li Wen. 我叫陈峰, my name is Chen Feng. 我叫毛志鹏, my name is Mao Zhipeng. And then write your name in Chinese, pinyin with tongzi, or English. 你好,我叫 Mary. 你好,我叫王小丽. Okay? So these are all little tasks. Because the literature shows or indicates that if you give a student a list of vocabulary, they can't learn it. But if you tell them to do something and they try to figure out what things mean, then they learn it. So the textbook is structured through a whole series of little tasks that allows them to learn better the content. Again, watch and listen to the video segment. Fill in the blanks with pinyin. 你好,我叫李文,认识你,我也很高兴. Okay, so basically the two people are saying, 很高兴认识你,认识你,我也很高興. It should be quite easy for them to fill in 高興 because it's right above. But just the act of filling it in helps them learn it better. Okay, so those are just a way of taking them through 你好,我叫 so and so, 认识你,我很高興. And then we deal a little bit with some of the grammar. 他叫 Hillary Clinton, 他叫 Bruce Lee, 他叫 Michael Jackson, 他叫 Albert Einstein. 他叫什么 or 他叫什么名字. And that's how they have to do a little task, again, that they can do. And by doing that, they learn. And here they match 我 equals I, 你 equals you, 他 equals he. We never told them this. They just have to do a little thing and they know what it is. But the very act of having done it makes them learn it better. And then putting it all together. Okay, so this is the end of Unit 1. And at the end of Unit 1, the idea is that they take this little chart and they walk around the room and they speak to at least 6 people using everything they've learned in this unit. And for my class, this unit takes about a week. So they use everything they've learned and they say, 请问你叫什么名字? 你是哪里人? 你家在哪儿? 你家里电话号码多少? 你手机号码是多少? Yeah. So they do that at least 6 times and they fill in the information. This is real communication. They're really getting and giving information. And if they don't understand, they have to say things like 请再说一遍 or 请说慢一点 or 谢谢我懂了. That sort of thing. And that ends the listening and speaking portion. Every unit focuses at least 60% of its attention, if not 70% of its attention, on listening and speaking, because listening and speaking is very important to learners. The unit wrap summarizes all the content of the listening, speaking content of the unit. So maybe we'll play you just about half of it. We're currently working on Encounters Online, and on Encounters Online, we'll have them repeat after and be able to record their own version of the rap, that sort of thing.
你好，再见。你叫什么名字？你好，再见。你叫什么名字？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？谢谢，对不起，谢谢，对不起，没关系，没关系，没有关系，没关系，没关系，没有关系。我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？我懂了，我懂了，你懂不懂？请再说一遍，请说慢一点，请再说一遍，请说慢一点。
Okay, Okay, that's just a small portion of it. The rap itself summarizes the whole unit, and our hope is that because students like rap, that they'll download it onto their MP3 players and listen to it at their leisure.